look at macronutrients, in basic nutrition, we start off with the big building blocks. And so these are the energy and major building blocks for our tissues and for our cells. As adults, we're pretty much formed. So it's a little bit of different physiology than children. Children still need to build a lot. We're pretty much formed, and all we need to do is sustain. So the energy requirements are a lot different. Our metabolisms aren't as high as little children because they're still growing and they need more of those building blocks. Those three building blocks are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So in protein, collagen is a huge protein now that they're studying that's super important. Everything in your body is made out of collagen. Your skin, your joints, your parts of your bones. So there's very, very little calcium and potassium and magnesium in your bones. Majority of that comes from collagen. And majority of where we find collagen are from eating animal products that are bones, joints, tendons, ligaments. So most people that are just eating chicken breast, you're missing out. If you're not eating liver and heart, you're missing out from those very essential nutrients that we used to have in our diets more and more.
I used to eat all of that when I was growing up.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah, they're very important. Fats, we need omega-3s. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then carbohydrates, these are your fruits and veggies. Notice how there's no breads and pasta there, and pizza. Those are also carbohydrates, but not the good ones. Proteins, those are our meats, the collagens, the building blocks for our muscles, our bones, our tissue. Carbohydrates, those are our veggies, our fruits. These are the micronutrient components. And the fats, these are our good oils, our butters, our ghees. These are all the healthy ones that we want to stick to. Micronutrients are now the smaller. Macro is large, micro is small. These are the small energy producing enzymes, vitamins, and minerals. These help the cycles in our body work. It's how our kidney utilizes energy. It's how it processes things. It's how our brain functions and works. It's how our digestion works. These require those micronutrients, those minerals, the enzymes, and the vitamins there. And these come from our plant sources, mainly, are the highest sources of that. So this is a carrot. These are the micronutrients in a carrot. So some of them. On the left is all the minerals. We have potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, and it shows you how there's a breakdown. So this carrot has these minerals. It has these vitamins. It produces that much energy, and it has a little bit of protein and carbohydrates. So our earth has those nutrients embedded into those foods that come out of the earth. And so this is the plant slant that we need to be focusing on when we are trying to eat more healthfully. Things that are made by the earth are better than things that are made by humans most of the time. So when we look at plants and their different colors, now we're starting to see that phytonutrients, and these are now getting studied more and more. Phytonutrient is the color of the skin. So the different colors are going to help different parts of the body. Like the white ones, they have anthocyanin, which is a anti-inflammatory molecule that helps bone health. On the right, chlorophylls, these are the green ones. They help cleanse your lungs. The red ones are the lycopenes. These help your heart stay healthy, the blood vessels stay healthy. And the anthocyanins are for brain, and the yellow ones are going to be boosting immunity. So all these foods that have different colors affect different things. Now think about it, take it one step further. If you cut a carrot and you look through that carrot, what does that look like? Looks like an eyeball. Beta carotene is also good for the eyes. If you open up a walnut and you look at it straight down, what does that look like? A brain. That's high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is helpful for the brain. So you look at all these foods and they sort of mimic our body parts that they're good for. It's pretty amazing. Like someone made it that way. It's pretty incredible.
You leave that, what is a white one? An example.
An example of a white one.
Turnip?
Yeah, so parsnips, more of the root.
These are all vegetables.
These are all vegetables, yeah. With fruits and veggies.
Potatoes?
You could call it, yeah.
Okay.
Some potato,
But what's a
parsnip, root
purple
vegetable. Purples are really hard to come by. So that's like a blueberry, a purple yam. So, you know, this could be a homework for you, is go to the grocery store and find the different colors and try those foods out, because they're all good for you. And
Eggplant is purple on the outside, but
yellow and white in the inside.
And lycopene, red, are you talking carrot?
Tomato.
Oh,
Tomato, yeah.
red pepper,
Red pepper, right? Get your mind thinking in those kinds of ways.
strawberry.
So healthy eating is all about diversity. As much different foods that you can eat, the better it is for you. Same with our gut health. With the probiotics, it's all about diversity. The more the different types of foods you can include, the better it's gonna be. The better they work together. So on the left here is a Paleolithic diet. The paleo diet, you guys have probably heard it before, right? Who's never heard of paleo? In the back, maybe paleo? Paleolithic time, this is hunter-gatherer times. Before we had breads and Coke and donuts. So we had veggies, we had fruits, we had eggs, and we had meats and nuts and seeds. So that's the paleo diet in a nutshell, right there.
No bread?
No bread. Bread is a crust.
Didn't figure it out?
Not until 10,000 years ago, with the advent of agriculture, is when we stopped hunting and gathering and started to grow crops and mass produce. And then we take that wheat germ or the wheat berry and we grind it up and we process it. Anytime there's a process, we're gonna strip it from nutrients and we're gonna create more of that wheat berry, so we concentrate it. So it has a lot of carbohydrate, which is energy, but a lot less nutrients. And so now all those things that are made from grains are breads, pasta, pizza, rice, very low nutrients, but they give us a lot of calories. So they could get you by if that's the only thing you're eating. But what we want to do is get into those vegetables, start getting into those fruits.
Is that a deer? There?
Or a moose, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, because when I was growing up, my father did deer hunting, and we did eat a lot of deer.
Good.
And my grandfather was a fisherman out here in the Delta, and he would bring home the big bass like
Why
that.
are
So we were
beans-
always,
Why are beans not in the
I was gonna say
paleo
the same.
So because beans have a coating that is very toxic to our digestion. So unless beans are sprouted, which means they're put into water and let sprout for 24 hours, 48 hours to break down and dissolve the toxins there, then it's okay. So anything, you can even ferment them and allow them to ferment, then it's okay because it breaks down that protective barrier. The bean is literally toxic to us.
Okay, and is it the bean or is it the legume? Is it the
Legumes and beans, yeah, they're the family.
It's a family there.
Yeah, legumes are the family of beans that fall under it.
Yeah, because there are a couple of these little exceptions, right? Like nuts are good, but peanuts aren't because peanuts is actually a legume
Right,
rather than a nut. And so,
right.
but then
We can't
potatoes-
cover it all today,
I
but
get it,
these
I
are
get it. But
snippets.
potatoes aren't up there on either side, right?
Potatoes aren't up there.
Let's not think about potatoes.
Um, There's some exceptions, right? There's some exceptions. Sweet potatoes are better than white potatoes because they have more nutrients. So we want to go, if you're going to do potato, you want to go for the more nutrient dense potato, not just the white potato. But in general, potato is not very nutrient dense compared to the leafy green vegetables and all the root vegetables. This is a ketogenic diet, which is very similar to Paleolithic. You guys have probably heard about that. They're very similar in that they cut out the breads, the rice, the pastas, no milk, no sugar, no corn. Majority of their food is all these high-fat foods and veggies and meats. And so what they're focusing on there. I like a little bit more It depends on what our goals are, but I like to do a little bit more plants with the keto diet, which essentially becomes paleo. It's like a hybrid of those two. It really depends on how much fats you need to get, and most of us are deficient in good fats. So avocados, coconut oils, omega-3s, which come from fish, and we need to supplement those because most of us are low.
So keto, the cheese comes back in.
Yes, but we err on the side of less cheese. But yeah, the cheese starts to come back in. It's not the best.
It's
You can always make it better.
It's just your point earlier, I agree with you with the corn. Corn should never be used for fuel.
There you go. So Whole30 is another type of diet. This is what their plate looks like. So if you're looking at getting a plate of food, 2/3 of the plate should be vegetables. Asparagus, the broccolis, the tomatoes, the carrots, and then a little bit, which is the size of your palm, should be the meat. Your palm is about how much your body can digest of meat, of protein. And then the rest could be just a topping, like a dessert with some good fat avocado and some fruits. Whole30 is looking at a balanced plate. That's about what we're looking for when we have a meal. Gives you a little bit of a guideline of how much to have. And remember, we eat too much, we eat too often. So if you're trying to lose weight, then err on the side of less, because you're already an adult. You've already formed everything you need. You just need some energy to sustain you through your day-to-day. All of this goes through our digestive tract. It goes in our mouth, it goes down the esophagus, into the stomach, and then the small intestine, all the way through our large intestine and out. And our body's job is really to break that down. So we have all the nutrients now going from our digestive system, creating those enzymes with the probiotics. They're creating neurotransmitters for our brain. So our brain gets that signal from our digestive system through the nervous system, and it activates all the things like digestion, immune system signaling, regulating our sleep, regulating our hormones, regulating our stress response throughout the day. So what we eat really helps us regulate and be calm and not be in a state of fight or flight. All these things that are really happening are constant communication between our gut, those probiotics, through our nerve system to the brain. And our nervous system that's the electrical system, right? That's the communication highway that these two symbiotic organs communicate through our body. And so that's why it's very important to have a healthy nervous system, and that's what we do with the chiropractic care. We make sure that those signals from your brain get to that lower intestine, that they're able to communicate with the digestion, and the digestion can then communicate with the brain, make that optimal connection, which is why a lot of times people, when they come in, their digestion improves without even talking about it. A lot of things start to regulate, and then we just maximize it with the nutrients. We get them on the omega-3s, the vitamin D, and things start working better and better, and they start being more healthy and feeling better. So when we look at our gut, our intestine, we're looking through that tube. On the left, this is a healthy gut. Everything is smooth and nice. And we start to have a breakdown of that gut, and it starts to get rough and rough or not healthy, damage. Here we're looking at that microbiome. So on the top, this is our intestine, this is our food. On the bottom here is our blood. Here in between, we have a barrier. So on the top, these are our food particles, and so when they go in our body, they're not really inside our body yet. Your body still has a chance to get rid of them, throw it up, or get rid of them through the number 2 before they get absorbed. And then these layers in between, this blue layer, is like a protective gel matrix. And what happens with those pharmaceutical drugs, those pain pills, all the things that we take, alcohol, sugar, they break down these barriers, these protective barriers. Now, these food particles have an easier time to get through that intestinal wall. This gives you another picture. Which one do you guys like better? 1 or 2?
1.
1?
Mm-hmm.
Makes more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or 2? 3 or 4.
Ten.
So there's blood here.
Right about- I